The film starts in Cairo, Egypt, where there's a lot of commotion in the streets. At the beginning, it says that a group of American archaeologists found a brand new pyramid buried deep in the desert. The locals think the pyramid is cursed, and they believe bad things will happen if it's uncovered. In the middle of all this craziness, a team of people making a documentary show up. They want to capture one of the biggest archaeological finds in Egyptian history. When they get to the site, there's a news reporter named Suni and her cameraman Fitzy. They start reporting on the discovery. They show the pyramid on camera, saying how amazing it is. It's different from the usual pyramids at Giza, because it has 3 sides instead of 4. Suni talks about Dr. Miles Holden and his daughter Nora, who are archaeologists. They're the ones who found the pyramid and could change history with their discovery. While Suni is talking, she keeps getting interrupted by dogs barking in the background. Later on, she has a talk with Dr. Miles Holden, asking him all about his search. Miles explains that ancient texts point to certain places as possible spots for the lost pyramid of Akhenaten. He guesses that this might be linked to the strange 3-sided design they've found. Next up, the crew talks to Nora. She clears things up on camera, saying that the 3-sided pyramid is not King Akhenaten's pyramid. Nora adds that the structure they're dealing with is buried beneath the ground. She mentions that it takes thousands of years for the sand to pile up so high, indicating that the pyramid's construction happened many generations before Akhenaten's rule. When Suni asks why archaeologists aren't using satellites, Nora reveals that many scientists are hesitant to adopt new methods or move away from traditional ways. Later, Miles and Nora share with Suni about a satellite circling the Earth and point out the exact spot where the pyramid is located. They've even mapped out a tunnel to enter the pyramid straight to its top. Suni gets curious and asks more about the satellite. Nora mentions she got inspired by an article called SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Suni wonders if aliens might be using pyramids to visit Earth, but Nora laughs it off, saying she doesn't buy into those theories. During their chat, Miles tries to shift Suni away from satellite talk, suggesting they stick to archaeology. But Suni insists that the satellite stuff is important, as it marks a new chapter in archaeology. This disagreement annoys Miles, who feels like the true essence of archaeology is getting lost in all this technology. Later in the night, Nora chats with her mother over the phone, ensuring her safety during the mission ahead. Suddenly, she notices a rover called Shorty, operated remotely, crafted by her boyfriend and teammate, Michael Zahir, an expert in robotics. Shorty, originally designed for Mars exploration by NASA, excels in navigating rough terrains. It boasts recording capabilities for both visuals and sounds. Once inside the pyramid, Shorty will beam live footage to the command center, aiding the mission greatly. The following morning, Egyptian workers, tasked with digging through the tunnel, notify Miles that they've breached the pyramid's interior. Upon hearing this, Miles's crew, joined by Suni and her news team, rush to the tunnel. As they remove the final obstruction, an unexpected explosion occurs, releasing a toxic mix of gas and fungus, enveloping the surroundings. One of the team members inhales the noxious air, suffering a panic attack and collapsing. Fortunately, swift medical assistance arrives just in time to rescue him before his condition worsens. Not long after, Miles gets an urgent message from the Ministry of Antiquities, demanding the research crew leave the area within the next 24 hours. The uproar and widespread violence from protests in Cairo have stirred the locals, who oppose foreigners meddling with their pyramids. Because of this turmoil, Miles decides to scrap their mission and depart by the following morning. Yet, Nora presses her father to at least dispatch Shorty to investigate what's happening inside the pyramid. After much back and forth, Miles reluctantly consents to send the rover vehicle into the pyramid. In the subsequent scene, an Egyptian corporal named Shadid pays them a visit, ordering the team to vacate as soon as possible. Michael, the lone Arabic speaker, reassures the officer that they're in the process of wrapping up and will depart shortly. Following this exchange, Shorty is dispatched inside the pyramid to chart its interior. Michael navigates the rover, and upon entry, it detects faint traces of toxic fumes. The walls within the pyramid reveal the emblem of Osiris, the Egyptian deity of the afterlife and the first pharaoh. Out of the blue, Shorty faces an unexpected assault from a mysterious figure, shocking the team monitoring its progress. Fearing it could be the same dog as before, Michael persists in navigating the rover deeper. Suddenly, the rover experiences a sudden shutdown, leaving Michael with no external control. With their mission derailed, Miles suggests they call it quits and head home. However, Michael adamantly refuses to leave without his $3 million rover, insisting they must venture into the pyramid to retrieve it, noting it's on loan from NASA. While Miles remains skeptical, the team manages to persuade him to continue with the mission. Shadid extends them a 2-hour window to retrieve their device. Subsequently, Miles, Nora, Michael, Suni, and Fitzy venture into the pyramid. Inside, Nora takes out her own camera to document their journey. Miles repeatedly warns against touching anything, cautioning the team about the unstable nature of the ancient structures, which could collapse at any moment. Before long, Michael stumbles upon a shattered fragment of his rover, sparking concern. Delving deeper, Nora uncovers an upward-bound hole, prompting the team to investigate. Scaling through, they encounter a myriad of unfamiliar objects and structures, arousing their intrigue. Nora also chances upon a metallic structure tainted with dried blood. Despite the ominous indication, she casually retrieves a sample for closer examination. During their descent, the support wire anchoring Miles abruptly snaps, disorienting the team. Adrift without a clear route, they enter a chamber where Michael spots his misplaced rover. Yet, the room's brittle flooring gives way beneath them, sending the team tumbling into a pit. Compounding the crisis, a massive debris chunk collapses onto Michael, trapping him under its weight. Despite their relentless efforts, they struggle to liberate him. Amidst the chaos, Suni discovers an opening and resolves to ascend in pursuit of an exit and assistance. However, as she ascends, an emaciated feline creature ambushes her, clawing at her face and compelling her to retreat. Shortly thereafter, Miles comes across a door etched with cryptic symbols, warning against entry. He suggests waiting for rescue by the army. However, Nora disagrees, fearing time is running out for Michael, and resolves to seek another exit. Before departing, she gives him a torch and a kiss, promising to return promptly. Moments later, the group is jolted by Michael's cries for help, prompting Miles and Nora to rush to his aid. Upon reaching him, they are horrified to discover only his severed leg trapped beneath a rock. The bloodstains on the ground suggest he was dragged away and consumed by a bloodthirsty predator. Nora is devastated, but her father encourages her to remain focused on finding a way out. Reuniting with Suni and Fitzy, Miles conceals the truth, claiming Michael's injury occurred while attempting to move the stone. Pressing onward through the tunnel, Nora senses they are being pursued. Her apprehension is validated as they soon find themselves pursued by a pack of relentless creatures. Amidst a frenzy of panic, they quicken their steps and stumble upon Shadid, who emerges as their rescuer. The soldier bravely fends off the majority of the small creatures, but ultimately succumbs to a larger predator's attack, devoured before their eyes. Witnessing this gruesome sight, Miles swiftly directs the group to extinguish all lights and retreat to a corner, aiming to evade a detection. In the tense silence that follows, Fitzy observes Suni's facial scars festering, her eyes betraying distress. Later on, they encounter a carved mural portraying excerpts from the Book of the Dead, offering insights into achieving immortality. Miles elaborates on its significance, depicting the final judgment where Anubis, the god of death, weighs souls against the grand scale held by Maat, the goddess of truth. Should the scales align, passage into the afterlife is granted. Subsequently, they venture into another tunnel, where Miles inadvertently triggers a mechanism, setting off a sand burial trap. As the tunnel rapidly fills with sand, the group races against time to preserve their lives. Amidst the chaos, Suni tumbles into a pit and is tragically impaled on numerous spikes. Despite their desperate efforts, she succumbs to her injuries, leaving the group to mourn her loss amidst their turmoil. Yet, they realize they must press on in search of an escape. After wandering aimlessly for a time, they stumble upon another fragment of Shorty. Fitzy discerns that its antenna could be repurposed for communication with the outside world. With resourcefulness, he reconfigures the rover using his camera and prepares it for recording. Miles then sends a video message detailing their predicament and issuing a warning about the perilous creatures infesting the pyramid, urging any potential rescuers to arm themselves. Later, Miles discovers a concealed door and successfully unlocks it, unveiling a passage to the burial chamber. Upon entering, they are met with a harrowing sight: the remains of numerous individuals scattered throughout the chamber, confronting them with the stark reality of their situation. As the group ventures deeper, they stumble upon the remains of a 19th century explorer and his journal, which outlines a potential escape route. However, before they can fully digest the information, a clawed hand suddenly pierces through Miles's chest, ripping out his heart in a horrifying instant. Nora's cries for her father echo through the chamber, but Fitzy pulls her away, and they flee to safety. To their dismay, the burial chamber seals shut behind them, leaving them trapped within its confines. With no other recourse, Fitzy makes a courageous choice to confront the deadly creature, rather than succumb to fear. As he cautiously returns to the burial chamber, he witnesses Miles still alive, bound to a colossal scale. Fitzy documents the chilling scene with his camera, as the creature weighs Miles's heart to judge his worthiness for the afterlife. Upon finding it impure, the creature consumes the heart, sealing Miles's fate. Returning to Nora, Fitzy shares the captured footage, revealing the creature as Anubis, a fusion of jackal and human, who devours the hearts of the impure or guilty souls. Following Anubis's departure, Fitzy retrieves the gun from the fallen soldier, while Nora acquires a flare from her father's lifeless body. Shortly afterward, she discovers inscribed text in the chamber, unraveling a historical narrative. The pyramid was erected to confine Anubis, who seeks reunion with his father, Osiris, to unlock the ultimate gateway to heaven. After inspecting the chamber, the duo locates a shaft with a rope ladder, speculating that the soldiers likely entered the pyramid through that path. Without hesitation, Nora begins ascending the rope, with Fitzy following suit. Suddenly they face an ambush by Anubis, who seizes Fitzy. Undeterred, Nora presses on in her ascent, but Anubis relentlessly pursues her. In a desperate move, she ignites the flare, successfully fending off the creature. Seizing the opportunity, she reaches the top of the rope, overcoming extreme exhaustion. She is on the verge of emerging on the surface when Anubis reappears and captures her once more. When Nora wakes up, she finds herself tied to a pillar inside the burial chamber. Fitzy is there, pleading desperately for assistance. Sadly, Anubis brutally attacks Fitzy right before her eyes. Despite her immense fear, Nora stays composed and uses a concealed blade to begin cutting through her restraints. Once she's free, she uses the same blade to wound Anubis by slicing his neck. As the creature writhes in agony, a group of fierce cats emerges and attacks him. In the chaos, Nora manages to escape, but she collapses just before reaching the pyramid's exit. Upon regaining consciousness, she spots a young boy holding her camera. Nora, suffering from scratches and infection, begs the boy for help. However, before they can act, Anubis re-emerges from the darkness and lunges at them, and the screen fades to black. And with this, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for tuning in, guys.